Alright, doing a little project for myself. I have this radio in my bench, and I have one in one of my Fieros. I'm not going to show the face and everything right now because all these buttons would pop out, and it looks nice when it's all put together. But this is the face plate, and there used to be, this is the circuit board, and then the LCD flips over. That's a ribbon cable. And there used to be a electroluminescent panel here that was fairly thin, and then the two connections would go through this little hole here where I got these little wires and connect to the board. And the display on it has been going out. It was never all that bright from the beginning, but after years, it's over 10 years old, but the radio is $850 back then and has some amazing features that I can't let go of, and some radios have them today, but they don't add up to everything that this radio does on its own. So here I took the luminescent plate out, and I've been working on some projects around here, and one of them had a panel for a little sign that you could put in here, a plexiglass sign, and it would light it up from the back, and you could make any little plexiglass front panel with whatever you want to say. You can make with black stickers, you know, you could have little stickers made up, but it had these little oblong holes here, or cut-ins. They had 4 little LEDs, and the LEDs have a chip inside that you just put 3.7 volts and it starts cycling through all the colors. And it's got all 3 LEDs in there to make, you know, anything from white to whatever, pink and purple, orange. But I needed it to be white, so I took some regular Radio Shack LEDs and I shaved them down all the way to the point where it's just coming close to the parts inside that hold the LED chips, and I fit them in there. And then I took behind here the radio. Let's see, where are you at? Okay, this plug here comes out of the radio. The radio is here, and it went to a box like this that was outside of the radio, and it produced the higher voltage AC to run the electroluminescent panel. So playing with it, you know, figuring out what I needed to do. So the red and black wires to the left are positive and ground, 12 volts. And so I just made jumpers, you know, temporarily while I was playing with it, over to these 2 wires that go up to the faceplate. So I have some resistors made up. This was just a first test. These are 2 100 ohms, and at 12 volts, the panel lights up really nice. And these started to go bad for some reason. I guess I was putting too much current through them, but it wasn't really crazy bright like I'd want it. This plastic has these little dots on it, and it's like little impressions into it, and it's a pre-made thing on a machine, which captures light, and then you have this back panel that, you know, reflects a lot of light. So these LEDs shining through here, there's silver foil on the edges of this. I had to take the foil off because I needed to cut the width of this to fit in the radio and the length, so I used some silver paint, and it worked okay. I mean, it was just that getting the white LEDs here without too much heat going on, using the right stuff, I took out the LEDs. But this panel is a little too thick. When I put the radio back together, it kind of is a little too thick for the screws to really hold it together, and plus had the problem with these LEDs going. So my buddy, we do stuff on his T-Rex motorcycle, and one of his video panels went bad. He has them in place where the side view mirrors are on the body, and then he has little cameras there that he can either use them as rear view mirror screens for the sides, or he can flip a switch and play videos on them. I noticed on the back of this that, there's no real driver for electroluminescent. So I thought maybe it's LED, and I looked at the box, and yeah, it's LED. So I opened it up, took the screen out. The thing stopped working, so we got a new one. So this one was basically junk. But if I could salvage these little LED strip right here, it's 3 of them in series, and then all those 3 groups of 3 are in parallel, and 12 volts lights them up. I had to trim a little bit off the edge for length, same on this side, and I had to trim. It's connected already to the white bottom panel, and then this is the plexi piece that goes in between, but it's a lot thinner. Let's see if we can get a comparison here. It's thin enough that I think it's going to make the difference for the radio to hold together. It was just bulging a little bit in the middle as the screws held it in, so I think this is going to make a difference here. So this plastic goes here. This had these white edge tapes on it, and I was able to salvage those, and they're good. It's like a reflective type of material with some goo on it, so it's stuck on there. And this side is clear where the LEDs actually shine through. So we've taken care of locking the light into the thing as much as possible. And then you have 2 more pieces. You have this one. It's sort of, not translucent. You can't really see things through it, so it helps to spread the light. So that goes on next. And then this white panel goes on next. And when you light it up, you get it looks all very uniform. So I'm just showing this so far, and I need to put it back together. This does work, and we'll take a little video and show the radio actually working here in a little bit. I'm excited because, like I said, this radio was $850 back then. The CD still works, and I want this radio to continue working. If I find them on eBay, I will buy them and use them for spare parts, or if they're in great shape, I'll keep them and use another one for spare parts to have at least a couple of them around. So that's my story, and next video will be of it running. I'm going to put this all together, fold this up, put the back on, and stick it right in there. And then we're going to see how she plays. Okay, thanks.